Hi everyone, I'm Shruti Patel, Head of Business Banking at US Bank. And today I'm joined by two of our very recent strategic partners, Prashant Gandhi, Chief Business Officer for Melio, and Yi Liu, who is Head of Gusto Embedded. Welcome both and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with a very simple question first, hopefully. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Shruti, thanks for having us and for the conversation. I'm the Chief Business Officer of Melio. Melio is a small business payments company. We do AP and AR and now accounting post our combination with Zero. I have been in this job for 5 years. I'm an old person. I have worked for about 25 years. I have 3 jobs, 25 years. I spent 16 years working at McKinsey. I was a partner at McKinsey and I was doing work in financial services and tech. And then I ran payments for Chase for 4 years. And then the last 5 years have been at Melio.
Hey, folks. So I'm Yi Liu. I'm the General Manager for Gusto Embedded. Gusto is a payroll benefits and HR company for small businesses. So I've been at Gusto for the last 10 years. When Gusto was less than 10,000 in small businesses, and now we serve over 400,000 small businesses. I've had a variety of different roles in product, in biz ops, in CX, all in the service of building products for small businesses. And so today, I lead our Gusto Embedded business. And so that's really our vision, is to meet customers where they are. So we enable third parties to be able to add payroll and embedded payroll platform into their software stack through APIs, through components, so that we can meet them where they are and build that all-in-one solution for them.
Well, thank you for that. I guess as both of you are aware, US Bank has been on a journey in terms of serving our small business customers. Our franchise is 1.5 million small business customers. And really, we've been on this journey over the last 12 months in terms of how do we bring integrated experiences across our banking, our payments, and software. And we were obviously thrilled to have announced last month our embedded offerings with both of you. Our account payables bill pay solution with Melio, as well as our embedded payroll with Gusto. And I will say that as we went on this journey, we wanted to make sure that we actually partner with the best-in-class fintech in the market, whose product offering is sophisticated, who thinks about customer journeys, how we think about serving our small business customers. And so one of the things which was very attractive to us was how both of your companies are very mission-driven, are very purpose-driven. Our purpose is how do we help our small business customers across obviously all of the digital experiences, but the way they interact with our branches, our online channels, money movement capabilities, access to capital. So tell us a little bit about your purpose or mission. What were some of the founding principles across Melio and Gusto, and how did you guys really think about serving small businesses?
If you Google search Meliorism, or you can ChatGPT Meliorism, you will find that Meliorism means you can change the world with human effort. And so our founders were very much of the view that there was a way to really impact small businesses in a positive way. And our mission statement is simple and clear. It's to keep small businesses in business. We believe that small businesses just have a lot of things to do, and they should focus more on kind of running that business and growing that business and not worry about all the back office tasks that they have to do just to keep things going. So, that's kind of that, and very much down that mission.
Yeah, Gusto's mission is similar. Small business is at the heart of what we do. And so our mission is really to grow the small business economy. And so not being just a tool for them, but really a partner in helping them go through that entrepreneurship journey. And so that means, everything from that all-in-one solution to compliance and giving that peace of mind to being that, guided, trusted, opinionated local partner. Our founders also have a small business background. All 3 of our co-founders have families who've started small businesses. They also started startups. And so the 2 insights they really gleaned from their experiences and their families is, 1, payroll is really, really hard and complex. And 2, as entrepreneurs, they believe that there's a way to disrupt that. So that's kind of how Gusto was formed.
Okay, well, fantastic. So going into the jobs to be done, we have been thinking a lot and anchoring how we think about product development and delivery within the bank around jobs to be done. And, when we thought about our partnership with the two of you, we were trying to solve very simple jobs: paying a bill, paying an employee, quick money movement capabilities, fast and speed, easy access. Talk to us a little bit more about how you guys think about the jobs to be done within small businesses and how you're anchoring your offering around those jobs to be done.
A lot of the jobs to be done that are most complex is around the onboarding experience. So for payroll, for example, there's a 10 plus steps that a small business has to do and enter in order to be able to set up to run payroll correctly. Everything from entering your address to your FEIN number to your bank account to your employees' information. And so that is, and you have to get that right, because otherwise it leads to downstream issues with tax notices and, the government calling you. And so when we partner with US Bank, it was a very no-brainer of 1 + 1 = 3 solution. There's already a lot of information that US Bank already collects, so we don't want to have the small business enter that duplicative information. Instead, they already have that bank account information, and so with US Bank, we don't need to go through that KYC, KYB process, and they can have everything at their fingertips. And so it makes it very, very simple in terms of that job to be done from the onboard experience and to get them set up with running payroll as quickly as possible. So that's one example. I know, Prashant, you have a few other examples.
Yeah, I was thinking that a small business owner today ends up using 8, 10, 15 different systems to get all these jobs done. And I know that US Bank, you guys also did some research on this topic, and even your market survey kind of revealed the same thing. So as he said, I think what we are most excited by is that with your leadership, we are trying to bring all these pieces in a very cohesive manner. And so there's the onboarding piece that you talked about, but then when it comes to like paying your bills, for example, historically banks used to think about supporting their customers for a job like paying bills with very much the last end of that transaction, which is the actual the payment. So you could use an ACH, or you could use a wire, or you could use an RTP. But the reality is that if you go talk to small businesses, they would tell you that there is a lot of workflow before even the payment is made. And then there's the actual payment transaction. And then there's a lot of workflow after the transaction is done, because you have to make sure that the transaction is recorded, reconciled in whichever books they carry. So what we are most excited by is we build this platform and we are integrating it in US Bank. And I also want to just mention that we are working with you in partnership also with Fiserv. And the reason why we chose to partner with Fiserv in implementing Cashflow Central in US Bank for AP and AR is because another job for the customers is, service and support. And that's a pretty important job for customers. And we wanted to make sure that because Fiserv has such a deep relationship with US Bank, we are riding on top of the infrastructure that they've already built.
Yeah.
And so anytime people have any question on where the money is or what happened to this bill, the service center folks actually have the information because all your systems are connected. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the summary.
Yeah. Might may add also, I think there's another big pain point that Prashant really touched upon is like cash flow, right? Like cash flow going in, coming out. And so having US Bank be that center for the, centralized data for the cash in, for money in, money movement out is really, really great for small businesses. And with payroll being, the number one expense for small businesses, and then also having bill pay, you kind of already see that full picture of that money out. And so we can then do things like helping them forecast cash flow, helping them when they're in need, if they need to pay their employees this week, but they're not getting their payments in and their invoices in until next week. Like there's a really great opportunity for US Bank to step in and provide that extra support for small businesses. So
yeah, that's actually a really good point, E. And it's actually really top of mind for our small business customers, which is inflows and outflows and cash flow management. And that's really why primacy matters to us, engagement matters to us. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure that wherever they have their operating balances or their source of funds, we're able to build all of the jobs to be done or the functions around it. Mm-hmm. And, inflows, outflows, whether that's paying employees or paying bills, we cannot do that unless we actually have line of sight. And so by bringing a lot of these functions within our online banking interface, it really helps us to give them at least some valuable insights or even access to capital if they're running low on their balances. I would have loved to say that when we went live with both Gusto and Melio, we were very fortunate that the releases happened back to back. And it gave us a great way to go to market, but it wouldn't have happened without actually focused execution from both of the product teams, our tech teams, and just all of the immense planning which went into actually doing, I would say, back-to-back releases for our small businesses. We hear a lot from our fintechs in terms of, how do we work better with banks? So I want to get your view. What worked well as partnering with US Bank? What could we have done better?
There are many attributes of our work with US Bank and Fiserv's work with US Bank, which are worth celebrating, and they are really great lessons. I think that your excellence is that you have trust with customers. Your excellence is that you have a distribution network that is unparalleled. And your excellence is that you offer them a whole bundle of financial solutions that they need for many stages of their life. Our excellence as fintechs is that we are fast, we are quite creative and innovative, and we have a lot of ideas on how banks can transition from offering methods of payment to doing jobs, as you just pointed out a couple of minutes back. I think that the reason why we got to a successful place with you is because I can speak for Melio and Fiserv, and I'm sure you can maybe talk about your experience. But our sense is that the US Bank product leadership team is quite amazing in not just engaging us on the what, but also on the how. So the what aspects we talked about, which is what's the feature, what's the solution, how does it fit in the full connected journey. But the how is also equally important. And so how do we work, and how do we run our Scrum teams? And so when should we engage? How do we do testing? Should we do front book first and back book next? And so I just felt like there was this great dialogue between our teams. And I would just encourage anyone listening to our little session right now that if you work with banks, to ensure that there's real alignment, not just on the what, but also on the how. Because it's not always the what that trips people up, it's the how.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And I think that's how we really build our partnership as well. If I look back at our experiences, I think one of the things that we did really well was not treat this as, embedded payroll as like a bolt-on experience. It's not like we just wanted to say, okay, let's take Gusto and put it in a box and put it in the US Bank application. We actually sat together, both our product teams and our designers, we sat together and said, okay, how do we make this a 1 + 1 = 3 type of solution? How do we simplify the onboarding experience? How do we simplify the cash flow management experience? And we spent a lot of time in the beginning trying to figure out how do we really design a seamless, cohesive experience for your end customers. So I think that was really great. Another lesson learned, I think, is really what Trump talked about is, like Gusto, we are a Y Combinator company. We have startup roots, even though we're 13 plus years old now with 450,000 small businesses. We still like to move fast. We like to iterate quickly, and we like to ship really a lot of new products. And US Bank is a 100-year-old company with some processes. And so we had to kind of really adjust and figure out what that marriage was like. And one of the reasons why we really respected US Bank is because of, you work in such a compliance heavy, legal heavy, like payments industry. And so you have to get that right. And the reason why US Bank is still around after 100 years is because of the trust you've built with small businesses. And so taking kind of the best of both worlds of how quickly we want to iterate on Gusto, plus the trust and safety and the clients of US Bank, we were really able to find that great marriage. And as an example, one of the things that we did was we decided, yes, contracting was going to take a couple months to do, but let's not wait to start until after the contract signed. We knew that we were going to be in this partnership for the long haul. It's going to be not just a 1 to 2 year experience, but like a multi-year, 10 plus year experience. So let's actually get started on building the product and doing the design phase even before the contract was signed. And, we both took a leap of faith with that, and it worked out really well. But I think that's because of back to the trust and the partnership that Prashant mentioned.
Yeah, and I would add, we were very fortunate that your solutions actually were very customizable. I think EU mentioned this, we weren't just trying to fit Gusto in a box within our online banking interface. We wanted to make sure that of the 1.5 million franchises we are serving, we are addressing their core needs. And so I think both of the tech stacks gave us a lot of flexibility in how we leveraged the APIs, how we thought about the customer experience and the end-to-end journey as we're building it within online banking. I would be amiss if I didn't mention AI in our little podcast. And so I'm going to ask both of you how you guys are thinking about leveraging AI. Obviously, the jobs to be done are very different across both of your enterprises. But yeah, tell us a little bit about, both across B2B payments as well as payroll, how you think small business customers would be better served with AI.
AI is a big, huge strategic focus for Gusto. And we believe that AI is really going to be that partner for small businesses. It's going to be, instead of, hiring for the HR person, you can actually get started much sooner and be able to have that AI assistant who can help you think through all of the HR payroll benefits needs. And so one of the things that we've been thinking a lot about is how does AI help the small business become have superpowers, right? And help level the playing field. Because at the end of the day, I don't think AI is going to diminish the creativity of small businesses. If anything, it's going to help really augment the small business economy. So we're very excited to think through how AI is going to help with entrepreneurship in general. And so in terms of how we're thinking about it, Gusto has recently launched a Gus, which is an AI agent for small businesses. And so that really allows them to be able to answer a lot of support questions, be able to troubleshoot tax questions and onboarding issues, and as well as be a thought partner in how they think about building their teams. And so our vision for Gus is really to be that proactive, thoughtful partner. Gus will be able to come in and help in moments that matter, for example, recommending what health insurance to have, or to help you do scheduling for your team, or to surface payroll blockers before they actually become, tax notices or other types of things downstream. So we're very excited about that. And then most recently, we also just launched an MCP server. We're the first payroll platform to do so. And so what that means is, the small business merchant can actually go to any AI LLM of their choice, Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, and be able to access their information and be able to say, for example, hey, who are the employees that have birthdays this month? Or show me the list of new hires that are coming next month. And so with that information, that you can ask ChatGPT to give you more data visualizations, you can have better reporting, or you can even think about how to, get market data and say, hey, am I paying my employees a marketable rate? And let me compare that to all the other small businesses within my area and my geography in this specific industry. So we think the opportunities of AI are really limitless. And we're excited to figure that out with US Bank and with Melio and other partners who are really thought partners in this industry.
Financial literacy has been a perennial issue in the small business segment. I think we've talked about this. Roughly speaking, 15% of small business owners have any kind of a business or a finance education. What is the difference between a gross margin and an operating margin? They don't know. What is the difference between product markup and gross margin? They don't know. What is the daily sales outstanding? Hard to tell. And there are a lot of gnarly issues on why we are here. But AI finally is perhaps the technology that can abstract away the complexity of trying to understand balance sheet, P&L statement, cash flow statement, and really focus on the operational aspects of running a business. So at ZeroCon, there was a great example that a customer gave, which is, I just needed to figure out if I should lease a truck or not. Okay, should the small business lease a truck or not? If you have a nice tool that actually you can give that prompt and the tool will return to you a pretty interesting analysis, it's a clear answer, that could be a game changer. And so we are pretty excited about AI. Zero is very excited about AI. And it's great that you're asking us that question, because that just means that with you and with Gusto over time, we can kind of do some co-collaboration in the context of what we are building with you.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought up financial and business literacy, because that's also one of the missions we feel very strongly about. We have our business access advisors who work across our footprint markets, who provide a lot of this financial literacy to small businesses, access to capital, how to run their cash flow. All of that is very top of mind. And I couldn't concur more that I think by leveraging AI, we could probably deploy some of this at scale. We recently launched a Business Resource Central platform, and that's accessible to everyone, not just US Bank. And the idea is for small businesses to get themselves a little bit more knowledgeable about how to start a business, how to run a business, how to actually grow an established business or a mature business. Last question. Prashant, you mentioned ZeroCon. So for everyone, Melio was recently acquired by Zero. Congratulations on the acquisition.
Thank you.
And so across both of you, now you're part of a public company from a startup, and you are a Y Combinator company scaling very quickly. What's next? What are some of the jobs to be done, new product offerings, or how are you guys thinking about new frontiers?
I think for us, it's everything that we just discussed in our discussion. I think we hold the strong thesis that the small business back office will come together, and the future small businesses should be given the freedom to choose what is their platform of engagement. And that platform engagement needs to bring all the pieces together, which we discussed over the last 15-20 minutes. And so rather than just speaking about it, the Zero Melio combination is real proof that lots of people believe in this vision and kind of the journey that we are on. I would say that would be the answer.
Okay. Yeah, we also just launched Zero Payroll powered by Gusto. So it's a small world. So for Gusto, I talked a lot about being that entrepreneurship platform for small businesses. And if you think about the statistics, over 500,000 small businesses are formed every year, and only 50% of those actually last to year 5. So our goal is to really increase both of those metrics. And how do we help small businesses start their business, and then how do we help them become thriving businesses down the line? And so a lot of what we think about are those products to help that. So as an example, we recently launched Gusto Solo, that helps with the earlier stages of the entrepreneurship journey. You're a solopreneur, you're thinking about, or you're just starting to make revenue, you're getting really good traction with the market, and now you're thinking about, how do I pay myself? So actually, you'll have better tax advantages if you can switch to convert over to become an S-Corp. And so you have to pay yourself then. And how much do you pay yourself? How do you think about becoming an S-Corp? All of those things are what Gusto Solo is supposed to, our plan is to help with a solopreneur in that way. And then on the Gusto Embedded side, we're thinking a lot about the employee platform, for everything from the employee management of things to time tracking, to also the financial aspects of the employee side. So we're hoping to build all of those for our embedded partners like US Bank.
One of the things that is very inspiring about the journey that US Bank is taking is that, we've all grown up through the years where the small business owner got a bronze checking account, a silver checking account, a platinum checking account, and US Bank, you guys have called it business essentials. I think that business essentials is a pretty important, two-word. And so it tells us that you are no longer interested in just offering small businesses a checking account. You are on a journey to offer an operating account for your customers, and we are delighted to play a small part in helping you accomplish what you want to do for your future.
Likewise, I mean, our intent with Business Essentials was exactly that, which is how do we bundle operating balance with a merchant acceptance product as well as money movement capabilities, because we understand that especially for the starter entrepreneur or the micro business, they're just looking for an operating account with some great free money movement capabilities and a quick and dirty payment acceptance product. And that's really how we thought about bundling. And honestly, the idea is how do we take those bundles to the next level with more software added to it so that it's more jobs to be done, and keep thinking about the jobs to be done. Okay, with that said, well, thank you both for joining us and for your precious time. Thank you, everyone, for listening into the podcast. Hopefully, you all got a little nugget of valuable insight. Talk soon.